Hi folks, here's just a brief little clip on some exercises that you can do at home with the mini ball. So the first one, you lie on your back, your feet are hip distance apart, you breathe into your ribs, draw up at your pelvic floor muscles, pull in your abs, and then squeeze your legs together. So try not to have your feet too wide, that way you can really sensate your inner thighs working here. Inhale into the ribs, exhale, inhale pressure off the legs, exhale squeeze into the ball, inhale, look to keep your pelvis stable and still, stay still and neutral here. You have a small space between the lower back and the floor. Like a little blueberry, and try not to squish the blueberry. Breathe in. Think a length from the top of the head to the tailbone. Pressure off. And then pull in. So that's inner thigh engagement. That could be the first one. Nice little one for you got the inner thigh into the obliques. And then back. There's another little one that I like. It's a little stabilization of the pelvis, can be kind of done in two stages. This one, little bent leg. When you're pushing down, try to push the full of the foot down rather than just going like that. So that way you get the glute and hamstring. Breathe in, pelvis stays stable and still. It's a staggered leg because one leg is on the ball, so one leg is higher. Push down. You feel your glutes working here. This is kind of like low load glute and hamstring. Nice little one for getting in on that hamstring a bit. Pressure off. Using your abs. Staying still and neutral again. Push down. Breathe into the ribs. Let the ribs expand. Push down. Then you can incorporate that into a little bit of a leg slide, which is good for your patellofemoral stuff, and it also kind of gets a nice lengthening of the front of the hip as well. You can go inhale, reach long, fan the foot so you can kind of separate the toes. Exhale, point and return. Inhale, a bit of tracking through the hip, knee and ankle as well. Low load as well, so it's nice. It's a good, and then if the ball kind of moves on you, you can just readjust the ball. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, come back. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, come back. Yeah? So we try a few of those on the other side. So you can stabilize the pelvis, staying still and neutral. Breathe in. Push down. Pressure off. Draw down. Look for that length. Look for that tension-free mid-back. Watch the base of the ribs. Feeling the ribs expand. Draw down. Inhale. And push down. And again, breath in. And push down on the exhale. And then reach long on the inhale. Pull up with the toes. Reaching the heel away from you. A little bit of glutes. And then back, a little bit of glutes activation. Reach long, pull up, draw down, and then return. And again, reach long, pull up, and then back. And again, stabilizing the pelvis, staying still. Reach, good, and then return. And then little reach. See how you are with tracking the ball. Is the ball moving? You can kind of tell you a couple of things about what's going on from one side to the other. If you've got what control do you have, that kind of thing, right? So that's that one. There's another one, the little hip roll one. So you can have your, again, your feet hip distance apart, got your inner thighs to help you here. Keep your pelvis stable and still. Start off into your neutral, breathe in, exhale, peel and roll up. Look for those deep abs to help you mobilize that lower back. Try not to be in a hurry to get that little bit of feedback through the top of your sacrum, L5, L4, coming up through your lumbar, sequencing up gentle there. Reaching the knees away from you here. Inhale, bit of activation through the inner thighs, and then softly back down. As you peel down, just observing how you're coming down through your ribs. Staying nice and relaxed. Scoop out your upper abs here. Get your inner thighs to help you with your obliques connection here. And then back into neutral, not into a big arch. Breathe in. Draw, peel and lift. Inhale. Then land back down. Then breathe in, peel and lift. Then inhale, and then land back down. Good, relax it out. All right, and then from there, there's a nice little sideline kind of sequence as well. I've got the head relaxed on the bottom arm, like that. My two knees are on top of each other. You can protract and then retract. So the arm state, the thing on this one is that the hand is in line with the shoulder. So that kind of straight line out. And then I let my shoulder protract and then back. And if I try to keep that elbow straight, it's kind of subtle as getting your shoulder blade to do the movement. And your breath can be inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale, reach. I hope you can see that. So that ball is rolling forward, probably just about the half of the half of the diameter of the ball, probably not even that much. Reaching forward and then back, and reaching forward and then back. Then you can add in a little rotation. You go inhale forward, exhale, a little rotation. Still kind of mild, not overly pushing down on the ball. I'm trying to sensate that little bit of a turn. Bring the shoulder blades back and then bring the top shoulder over the bottom shoulder. So you let the shoulder blade glide around your ribs. You get a mild rotation. Try to stay long between your ribs and your pelvis here. And then you draw the shoulder blade back and then you come back. It's low load, so it's very gentle. Keep the arms straight. Let the shoulder blade protract. Get your rotation. Let your shoulder blade come back. You're going after the muscles in between your shoulder blade and your spine, and then come back. That's that one. I'll do the other side, and then we go on to a couple of side bend ones. Go on to a bit of abdominal work. Not that way, this side. So your head's relaxed on the arm again. Two knees on top of each other. I reach forward, let the scapula kind of move away. You've got that little bit of downward feedback that you can kind of get into those muscles between the shoulder blade and your ribs, that little serratus anterior, which kind of helps us with that strength through our scapula. Responds well to like this work as well. It's nice and gentle, and yet you kind of got that integrity that you're not going into your neck as well. And then back, and then little reach, and then back. Then it's kind of integrated work then, so kind of go forward, mild little rotation, then draw the scapula back, and then come back on top with the shoulder blade on top, or sorry, the shoulder, top of the other shoulder. Shoulder blade goes forward first, breastbone reaches down towards the floor as I kind of rotate, then I come back. And kind of like on a rotisserie, if you think about it that way, and kind of got that little spin through the long spine, and then reach, yeah, then draw the scapula, pull in the abs to come back. Keep your abs working on these as well. Let the shoulder blade go forward, rotate, good, bring it back, and then rotate back. Good job, well done. They're nice for wakening up the back. You'd be surprised, it's kind of a gentle one, but it really kind of works. This one is a good answer to breaststroke preps if you find it hard to mobilize through your upper thoracic spine area. So it's not so much the sit up or the ab prep one, but it's more trying to open up the upper ribs The head is supported on the hands. So breathe in, exhale, reach back. You got that mild little encouragement of those ribs opening up and out. Inhale, exhale, stay here. You can almost softly draw those shoulder blades back together a little bit. Inhale, and then exhale, come up, moving from the breastbone and not the neck. I breathe in, exhale, go back and strong through my upper back muscles here. Strong through my abs. I breathe in, exhale, inhale, and then exhale. The ribs respond well on extension. On an inhale, when I go back, and the inhale actually facilitates extension and a nice stretch through the front of your chest muscles as well. So try to take advantage of that one. If you find it too hard on the shoulders, just lift the elbows up a little bit and make sure that you're not overextending through the neck. If anything, it's just trying to get into those upper ribs. Breath in and then gently up. That's those ones. I'll try a couple of the ab ones then. So with the ab ones, the key to this, trying to get a little bit more successful in your abs, is making sure that you're not grippy in your back or your hips. You can roll the pelvis towards you where you feel that you've got a little bit of kind of glute activation pulling the pelvis down. I like to think about that I'm not overly heavy on the ball, and then I reach back a little bit. I scoop out my abs here, and then exhale up, inhale, exhale back, inhale. Try to flatten out. It's very easy to dome and overwork your external abs here. So think about what Pilates has to offer as far as those deep trans ab muscles, like that deep inner corset, that cling film, flattening out your stomach wall. If anything, it's the subtle drawing down of your ribs as your weight is light on the ball. Then when I go back, I'm still not fully committing to fully weight on the ball. That way you'll feel it in your abs. So try to even get in on your obliques a little bit as well. Then when you're up, so let's say I'll just go back for a minute, breathe in, and come up. Then you can hold there, be light, soften through the ribs, breath in, turn. When you're turning, try to keep the connection, try not to go long with your ribs here. It's just a straight, more of a kind of a turn. If anything, you can protract your scapula at the side that you're turning to, and then come back, and then go the other way, protract the scapula at the side that you're turning. So in other words, if I'm going to my right, coming towards you, let that, like when I turn there, stay long through the side that you're turning away from, and let that shoulder blade kind of come around. That way the muscles of here, it allows you to kind of get in on your obliques as well. Keep the knees still. Turn that way and then back. You don't have to do low, you totally feel these. And then back, just the softness of the ball. Just that lack of support. So that's why you got to use your abs. And then back. And then back. Well done. You totally feel those. Then this one, there's two different ones on this. The stretch. I'll give you the stretch first, just because we just did a few on that. The other one. So your stretch is, if you find that you want to put a kind of a hand towel or a small pillow between your ear and your shoulder, that's fine. Otherwise, if you're okay with your neck doing that, or you can do that, or maybe that. But the stretch then is, you take your hand up, and then as you reach your arm over, have the palm down. You can hold on to your top wrist with your lower arm like that. And then you can have your toes pulled up and you're reaching away with the heel of the top leg. That way you're encouraging a bit of a stretch between the base of your ribs and the top of your pelvis. You're pulling in your abs. And then we can play with the breaths here. So the free side as far as ribs are concerned is your top side, because this is a little bit more compressed because you're resting on it, and your ribs are shorter here and they're longer here. So there's two ways you can do this. You can breathe into the top side, let your ribs expand like as if they're like a fan kind of opening out, and then relax. Reach that heel away. Get a mild encouragement of your pulling on your arm a little bit to facilitate a little bit of elevation of your shoulder blade on that top side. Just watch, still maintain a little bit of shoulder stability though. So I don't have to pull my arm out of my socket. I could keep my arm stable and down and still try to get that stretch through my lateral ribs. That involves a little bit of concentration there. Slide the shoulder blade down and you're still getting the pull. So in other words, you're not going into your shoulder joint. You breathe into the top side of your ribs. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Just do one more. Breathe in. Exhale. The other part is if you think about breathing into the lower side. Breathe into the ball. Don't pull on your arm on this. That's just resting there. Relax. Breathe into the lower side of the ribs. And relax out. You might feel your body rising there. So as I breathe in and relax. Breathe into the ball and relax out. Breathe into the ball and relax out. So that way, when you go on to the other side, it was harder for you to breathe into the ball. So when you're getting the stretch now on the top side of that side that was against the ball, it's going to be freer. So it's just how you play with your breath, how you play with your stretch, your contraction, your short side, your long side. Breathe in again, into the ribs. Reach the heel away, pull in. Watch the neck, make sure you're okay. A mild encouragement, that's just a little bit of a, so there I am, stable. I slide my shoulder blade down my back, and then I get a bit of an encouragement there. Breathe in, pull in, breathe in, draw in, breathe in, pull in. One more, breathe in. Now try to breathe into the bottom side. Don't pull on the hand so much on the top. Or don't focus on trying to lengthen out that top side. Just breathe into the ball and relax. Breathe in and relax out. Breathe in and relax. Breathe into the ball. Lower rib side. You might notice that it's easier to breathe into one side than the other. As far as your ribs are concerned. Okay, then here's a little bit of sideline oblique work. There's a couple of ways to do this. I'm higher up on the ball. In other words, the ball is lower down in between my ribs and my pelvis, according to how your back feels on that. My legs are anchored. This bottom leg is bent, the top leg is long. And then I like to think about the shoulder blade. How's the shoulder blade working on the top side? The shoulder blade elevates to get me up into my high ribs here. I gently slide the shoulder blade down to get me into my obliques a little bit. I go over like that. It involves a little bit of kind of head tracking, so you're not letting your head kind of independently move. That's why I'm trying, well, it's kind of moving. Your head is following your spine. So your cervical spine is following your thoracic spine, if that makes sense. Just so you don't strain your neck. If you don't like that, you can put your hand under your head on the side like that, but still, it's just more that you're resting your head. Your head isn't actually doing the work. You're pulling in with your abs. Your abs are working. My shoulder blade is working. I'm not jamming into my lower back. I'm still kind of going after that nice long stretch in that lateral line. And then back. Look for your obliques on this side. And the obliques are still working on the bottom side as well. And you can adjust that ball if you wanted to make that a little bit harder. That's better. That's better. There, look, I go over more. And then back. It's hard to balance on the ball though. You've got that rotational capacity. So try to stay still, like you're coming up in between two panes of glass. Over. And then back. Think of length. Don't jam in. Nothing should be jammed. See, nice and smooth. Inhale. Exhale. Long. Inhale. Exhale. Totally feel those. Inhale. Exhale. They're good for your back. Obliques are good for tracking your ribs to pelvis. So if you're arched in your back, you need your obliques to help. Your obliques run up, the external obliques run up high up your ribs. So I refer to them sometimes as your rib cage muscles, because that's what they are. Like, your ribs need to be strong to keep you from going into your lumbar. Yeah, strong and movable. And then back. If you want that a bit harder, 2 fingers reaching away from each other. Over, watch the shoulders. And then back, pit of the stomach, over, length. And working. Eccentric length, working through length, shortening, not jamming in on the lower back. And then up. It's a good, there's a bit of kind of conditioning in your neck as well. So kind of, even if you felt, oh, it's going into my neck a little bit, look for a little bit on it. There's a bit of timing on this. Even if you were to practice this kind of looking in the mirror, because it's hard because you can't see yourself. Look where my head is versus my upper back. Up and then back. There's no deviating. Up and then back. Yeah, so it's all, make no mistake about it. There's a bit of strength happening in those. There's all those lateral muscles, those lateral scalenes, those lateral neck muscles.